Well, let's speak now to Tamara Alrifai, Director of External Relations and Communications at the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees. Thank you very much for coming on the programme.
Thank you for hosting.
Can you just talk me through what is the situation right now on the ground of getting aid to the people who need it in Gaza?
The humanitarian situation is catastrophic in Gaza. The humanitarian aid, the supplies, the trucks are coming in very, very small numbers and definitely not up to the scale and the magnitude of the needs of people. Over the last few days, we have seen a big reduction in the number of trucks coming in and the number of liters of fuel coming in, which is necessary for the trucks and for the water desalination plants and also for the electricity generators. Basically, the humanitarian space has really shrunk around UNRWA, the largest UN agency operating in Gaza. And on top of it, because of the intensity of the fighting, of the bombardments since the humanitarian pause stopped, we have only been able to distribute food in a very small part of southern Gaza in Rafah. There are many, many people who are not in Rafah and whom we have not been able to access for the last few days. So they're left with nothing. No food, no water, no blankets, nothing. It's really, really a tight space for humanitarians right now.
And what do you make of this claim this morning from a senior official at the UN that half the people in Gaza is starving?
The senior official represents the highest international authority on the right to food. And therefore, I take that comment very, very seriously. And it corroborates with our own findings at UNRWA based on what our colleagues tell us. That people really have very little access to food because we know the quantities of wheat flour and canned food that are going in. Again, tens of trucks do nothing in the face of the needs of 2.2 million people. Think about it. 10 trucks or 50 trucks is barely what you can fill a medium-scale grocery store or supermarket with. 2.2 million is a city, a very big city. And therefore, how much can you do? 69 trucks a couple of days ago, that's only partially food, partially fuel, and partially non-food like blankets and medical supplies. So if we do the maths, my colleague from the World Food Programme has it right.
Is there a way of getting enough aid in whilst there is no ceasefire? Because we had the veto of the call for the humanitarian ceasefire at the United Nations Security Council yesterday. It doesn't look like a ceasefire is on the horizon. We know many aid agencies are calling for just that. But if that doesn't happen, is there another way to get enough aid in?
First, we reiterate the need for a humanitarian ceasefire. But besides that, there are ways that are called deconfliction, which is ensuring that a convoy, a humanitarian convoy, can go into the Gaza Strip safely. And that is with security guarantees from the parties to the conflict, from the Israeli authorities and from the de facto Hamas authorities. There is whatever we get in is not enough. You asked me whether there is a way to get enough food in. There are ways to get more supplies in. Right. We had spoken about 200 trucks. We really need around 500 every day to be able to do our work.
Tamara Alrifai, thank you very much for coming on the program.